Hi Taurus, I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into it, I would like to set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. You may be finding yourself more in a role of maybe supporting somebody, maybe helping someone out with something. Maybe you feel like you have time to give, love to give. Maybe feel like you're diving more into acts of service, maybe. I'm getting almost a mediator type of vibe here. Maybe you're mediating something. Maybe you're also figuring out how much you want to lend a helping hand versus maybe where to back up from situations too. It's like, how involved do I want to get in that? I'm getting something like this. Yeah, I'm seeing you for sure reflecting on something. Maybe before you felt like you were in a position where it's like, if I see any opportunity to step in, I'm gonna step in. And now it's more so like thinking about when it is that you want to step in and being like, is that really necessary? Is that something that I for sure am feeling called to do? Is that something that feels impulsive to me? I'm also hearing, is this going to help the situation? Yeah, I'm seeing this for sure be tied in with like you and other people. It's like, do I want to enter into that dynamic? How far in do I want to enter into that dynamic? Do I want to be involving myself? This is also too, I'm hearing checking within the reservoir. It's kind of like checking in the reservoir of like your abilities and what you can do, and being like, is this something that's going to fit into the collaboration space with someone as well? It's like not just going into a space because you want to, it's thinking about if you can actually like be benefited and benefit by acting maybe as a supporting role sometimes. And I'm seeing that this is bringing an element of harmony into your relationships that you have. Yeah, I'm getting a mediator vibe again. It's like maybe even you're taking a more active approach when it comes to the ways that like you're communicating with those around you, those that you're involved with. And figuring out when and where you want to say things, which words you want to use as well, what message it is that you want to be sending. I'm seeing for some of you, this also ties into work that you're doing too. I'm seeing reflecting that you're doing when it comes to your job. For some of you, there's something new that you're going to be starting as well. There's someone new that you're going to be working with too. Yeah, I'm seeing you guys work together here. I'm looking at Saturn, Capricorn. I'm looking at Virgo. This can even mean just on the work front doing something. As I said before, I'm seeing you working with other people. I'm seeing this be a somewhat new experience that you're having. I'm seeing you guys work together. It's like you're working to make something work here. And it feels very new. It feels very different to you, the way that you're going about this. And maybe your collaboration style was different in the past, and now you feel like you're stepping into a new or a different role when it comes to how exactly you're collaborating with others. And I'm seeing this be a somewhat cheerful experience as well that you're having. It's like things feel new, things feel good. You feel like people are getting along. You feel like you're also adding to this. You're also being more clear too, with the way that you're presenting yourself, the ideas that you have, the conversations you're having as well. Yeah, Taurus, I'm looking at you here. For some of you, there's some sort of friendship that you have with a Scorpio as well. This can always be that area of your chart, but I'm seeing like you come together with somebody. For some of you, you're having a reunion with someone. I'm hearing an old friend. Yeah, and it's like now things feel balanced before, and maybe in the past things had been a little bit rocky. But there was a sense of reflection that was needed, and I'm seeing that you did that work. To figure out how you guys could best work together. Maybe some type of compromise was needed as well. Yeah, maybe you were understanding more how you were showing up, how the other person was showing up, what elements of yourself you wanted to bring, what elements that you didn't want to bring. Maybe you feel too like there were some ways that you were working with someone where a more subconscious energy was showing up and you wanted to bring consciousness to that space. It's like I'm seeing this also be in the work environment affecting you as well. It's like bringing a sense of consciousness into the work environment that was different than how you had been doing before. To go over the signs again, I'm looking at Saturn, Virgo, Scorpio, and you, Taurus. For some of you, I'm seeing some intense shadow work that you've been doing, and I'm seeing that there may even be a person or a group of people that you're doing this with. It's like for sure to better understand yourself. And it's really helping your relationships too. For some of you, you're figuring out which connections you want to be involved in and which you don't. It's like, so you can actually give the attention and care that you want to the specific relationships you're connecting with, rather than feeling like you're spreading yourself thin. It's about being really deliberate with the people that you do want to maintain the connection with. And putting the time and effort and energy into actually nurturing those things too. Feeling like you can be present within these connections. For some of you, there may be an opportunity with someone that you shied away from as well, because maybe you didn't feel like it was going to be what you needed, or it wasn't meeting your expectations. Because I'm seeing you, yeah, I'm looking at the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups here. I'm seeing you be very concerned with your security too, and if a relationship isn't like meeting what it is that you're expecting it to, I'm seeing you be really honest in that space with someone. And ending the connections that don't fit within like this ideal and this vision that you have. Even if that means breaking away from certain attachments that you have as well, is what I'm getting. There's definitely an element of healing that's being done too. Yeah, healing. Maybe there's also a sense of self-love that I'm hearing injecting into a situation. It's like something needed to come to an end, and you recognize this, and you recognize as well that there was healing in the heart chakra and clearing that was needed too. And you feel more connected with yourself now because of this. I'm seeing you move on from a situation. And more towards your passions as well. It's like something really wasn't cutting it for you, and you recognize this, and even though you knew something big was going to need to change for yourself, you felt ready to make that change, make that shift, is what I'm hearing. And you may feel like it's easier as of late to express your creativity, and maybe getting around whatever it was that was keeping you stuck and feeling like you couldn't express yourself. Yeah, something could have come to light, or you could have had a realization about a shift, a move that you needed to make, something that you needed to end. This can be like behaviors, patterns, cycles with people that, like, in a way you may have felt hesitant to end these things, maybe feeling a bit stuck in your head about actually going through with this, but you knew that it was part of the process of healing for you. And so I'm seeing that because you did this, you're establishing a sense of balance for yourself, and you're also emotionally feeling more grounded too. For some of you, this could involve a child as well. Yeah, I'm really seeing you, I'm seeing you really making a lot of progress, putting a lot of work in when it comes to you grounding emotionally. It's like removing yourself out of a space where you feel like at one point of time you could have been more reactive. I'm looking at Gemini and Leo and Libra here. And moving more into a grounded space when it comes to the ways that you're interacting with those, especially at times when you could feel a sense of pressure or maybe even feeling triggered into action. And there's a sense as well as feeling more in touch with yourself too, with what it is that you're actually feeling. It's like being able to witness your emotions and also feel like you're witnessing those emotions with clarity, and that you're making decisions that feel right to you based off of what you're feeling. And because you're grounding your emotions, you don't feel like you're like so called to be reactive. Because there's definitely a move upon a healing journey that you've been continuously making here. And maybe you feel as well like it's also helping you with prioritizing yourself and dreams that you have too. It's like these goals and ideals that you have. Balancing healing, balancing self-care, and also moving away from a space where you feel more impulsive. It's like being able to move beyond that, being able to also see beyond that, also playing the tape to the end. It's like before you make a decision, being like, well, what is the outcome going to be of this? Let me sit and ground and think about that for a second before I jump in and do something. This may be a specific message. I'm getting something about planning a retreat here. Yeah, for sure. Planning a retreat. You maybe even be meeting up with someone, or like maybe even a group of people for some of you. I'm hearing holistic. There's like some type of healing that you're doing, I'm seeing. This can even be a personal retreat. It doesn't necessarily have to involve other people. For some of you, I'm getting a sense almost like at sometimes you feel like life is passing by very quickly, and there's a sense of wanting to ground, and there's a sense of kind of planning out when you're going to have this time to like meditate, do spiritual practices, things like that. And managing this self-care routine that you're managing, this is for sure like part of a karmic test that you're moving through. It's like, when do you need to take the time for yourself to tend to yourself versus when is it that you want to be taking action and paying attention to the things that you feel passionately about, that you want to do something about. And ultimately this sense of where to step in and where to step back as well, and figuring out the balance between those two things. And I'm seeing that this is giving you clarity as well, because you could be noticing that sometimes when you're not feeling as present, there are certain decisions that you make that if you would have taken a moment to ground, you wouldn't have made those decisions. And I'm seeing this be a process that you're moving through, where the more you're grounding and the more you're waiting and sitting and thinking about things prior to making decisions, especially when they're big decisions for yourself, the more like clearly you feel your thinking when you go about then making those decisions. And I'm seeing the outcome kind of be differently than how the outcome had been in the past, when impulsively you may have been jumping to immediately take action. I'm looking at Neptune and Aquarius here. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.